Hi, Experiential Learners. It's Steve. I hope that you're doing great. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our week number 3 theme, which is focusing on internship developmental stages, as you see here. And we're introducing this topic to you because your week number 3 learning event is your first reflection journal where you are focusing on a challenge, a success, a learning moment from your internship. And one of the factors that you may want to integrate into your reflection journal for week number 3 is one of these 5 developmental stages that you see here. So we're going to briefly talk about each of these stages, and then I encourage you, as you think about your week number 3 reflection journal, to think about which of these 5 stages you are currently in your internship, and maybe there are actually multiple stages that you're in, and where you want to be at the conclusion of this experience. So the first stage is the anticipation stage. Most of you are already either in this stage or managing this stage. We call this the what if stage. You see here some of the different emotional reactions or feelings that emerge in the what if stage. The stage number 2 is the disillusionment phase, and this is the what's wrong with my internship stage. So this is where I always use the example of plateauing. So this is where an intern may actually plateau in their internship. They may not feel like a whole lot of growth is taking place. There can be some of these negative feelings here, frustration, sadness, anger, and so forth that emerge. Then we have the confrontation stage. So this is a stage that interns tend to really avoid. Generally speaking, in life, we like to avoid confrontation. It makes us uncomfortable. It puts us in unfamiliar territory. Challenge can really cause us to backpedal or retreat. So I encourage you to embrace the confrontation stage of your internship. And by this, I mean you want to acknowledge problems as they arise, and you want to learn how to engage in problem solving throughout this experience. You want to accept feedback that you're given. There'll be several times throughout the course where I'll be contacting your supervisor and asking them for feedback, not just on your performance, but more importantly on the learning that's occurring for you. Are you addressing your learning objectives, and so forth? Sometimes interns might be at odds with a policy of their host site or a way of doing things. And we have here gaining feelings of confidence, independence, and empowerment as a learner. That's really what can take place in the confrontation stage. Stage number 4 is pretty self-explanatory. This is the competence stage. This is what we really hope for interns. We want to see your competence level increase. We want to see you develop a higher level or degree of competencies in a number of different areas. And those areas can relate specifically to your learning outcomes, the skills you're looking to develop, the knowledge that you're looking to acquire. I want to just focus briefly on perfectionism and excellence. So it's important that as an emerging professional, you try to focus on having a high standard of excellence versus perfectionism. I always tell interns that having a perfectionistic perspective does not allow any room for error or failure. And let's be honest, there are times when we mess up, or there are times when things don't always go right. So you want to have that high standard of excellence that also does account for mistakes or mishaps that might occur along the way of our internship adventures. And finally, the culmination stage. This kind of has a mix of emotions. As you're wrapping up your internship, you're not really at this stage probably at all quite yet, but we do want to mention it and highlight it here. This is the wrapping up stage. This is where you have a diverse range of feelings occurring. You might have some sadness and pride, kind of conflicting emotions there. Finding a way to say goodbye to your internship site. If this is not your employer, you probably do have an end date, and you have to bring closure to that experience and recognize and appreciate your colleagues and supervisor who have helped you along the way. And the final evaluation, there'll be a final evaluation in this course that you and your host supervisor will be asked to complete collaboratively. And so preparing for that, assessing all of the learning that has occurred for you, and then finally really reflecting on how this experience has shaped your career path or trajectory. So again, these are the questions I'd like you to think about for the week number 3 discussion. What stage are you currently in with your internship? What strengths can you draw upon to manage or navigate through that stage? Are there any personal traps or challenges that you might need to avoid in the stage you're currently in? To move through a particular stage, are there aspects of yourself or your internship you need to confront or change? So having that self-awareness, kind of doing an inventory of yourself in terms of how you're viewing your internship. Are you getting out of that comfort zone and trying to view the experience from multiple perspectives? So thank you so much for listening. I do really appreciate your time. Later this week, I will be posting another announcement about how to ace your week number 3 reflection journal. So look forward to that. Have a great night.